Hi, I'm Jo Taylor and welcome to the Misadventures podcast. This week we've got Tez Ilyas joining us. Might also know him from Man Like Mobeen. We were both really excited, weren't we? We said on the recording, both excited.
I was especially excited as I love Man Like Mobeen, and he is amazing in Man Like Mobeen, and he did not disappoint.
Indeed. Also, just another little small part that he plays that I quite enjoy is the Love Island Geckos.
He does play one of the Love Island Geckos.
Indeed.
I thought,
yeah.
I know that voice. I've spoken to that person.
I love his little part on that, the little advert.
Better than the rest of the shit on it. He's the best thing about Love Island.
That's a bit of a bold statement, but I think I'm going to have to agree with you.
I don't know. I don't think it's that bold. Very educational episode as well.
Yeah, I definitely feel it's an episode we've learnt the most on, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
A little bit serious for a bit. Obviously, we can't stay serious, but it starts serious.
It does indeed. And I feel like it just gets a little bit ridiculous towards the end. As you'll know, we always ask the guests where they want to go to next. It's how we end every single episode. My goodness me, Tez is an ambitious individual.
He's certainly that.
Wait until you hear all the places that he wants to go. It's not even the amount, it's also the where.
It's definitely the where. No spoilers. I am the king of spoilers.
No spoilers, but honestly, that man, I admire his ambition.
With that being said, shall we get on with it?
Yes, let's crack on.
On with the episode. I've been looking forward to this one, haven't I?
That's very nice.
We both have, to be fair.
Because I've seen you in a few things, but one of my favourite things that I've seen in the past few years is Man Like Mobeen. And you are by far the best thing in Man Like Mobeen.
Thank you. Oh. I get that a lot, and I never quite know how to react to it, but it's very nice to hear again and again.
I've got so many people into watching, because not enough people know about the show either.
I know, it's a weird one, and people who watch it love it.
Yeah, and it's so crazy, because Series 1, it's all a bit silly and a bit quirky, and then by Series 3, by the end, it's all starting to get pretty dark.
Yeah.
And it's done so well.
Yeah, there's some plot twists.
Yeah, I love it.
So Stance is fangirling again. This happens, honestly, it happens all the time. It's always fangirling.
I love fangirling.
But yeah, no, I've been super excited as well to get you on the podcast. It is going to be a good one. I mean, I say it's going to be a good one. I've got the content, but Tez, it's on you to create the performance here.
Oh my God. I hope I can remember those stories. Sat down, headphones on, mic's here.
Fantastic.
I'm ready.
Let's just get straight to it, shall we?
Strap yourselves in.
Pilgrimage to Mecca.
Sounds very serious.
Yes, a very serious thing, mate.
We've turned into like a serious travel podcast now.
Yeah, it's a very, very serious. I've been twice.
Yeah.
I went in 2007 with my family and also my extended family, my cousins and them lot. Nice little party. It was about 15 of us. It was really fun.
Oh, nice.
So pilgrimage to Mecca. So this is a pilgrimage. I'm Muslim, so this is a pilgrimage to Mecca and Medina, which is now currently Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So it's obviously an important part of any Muslim's part of their life. So there's two types of pilgrimage. There's a minor pilgrimage and a major pilgrimage. Basically, the easiest way to describe it is off-peak, on-peak. So the Hajj, H-A-J-J, which is a word many people might recognize, is kind of is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, and you have to complete it at least once in your lifetime. And the Hajj event happens at a specific time of the year.
Okay.
So that is the major pilgrimage. That's the peak pilgrimage. You have to do that once in your lifetime.
Yeah.
If you go any other time of the year, you're basically off-peak.
It doesn't count.
It's still a pilgrimage, but it's a minor pilgrimage.
Okay, so it's like a practice then, is it?
Basically, yeah.
Practice rehearsal or the grand show.
It's like we've got summer off, so something to do in it.
We'll go and have a go.
And so summer of 2007, when I went with my extended family, we went on the minor pilgrimage.
Yeah.
When I went in 2015 with my mum and my sister, we did the Hajj.
Is it cheaper to go on the minor pilgrimage? Is
Good
there like
question.
offers?
Yes, marginally.
Yes.
But not when you take, not when 15 of you
Kids go free on the minor, but not on the Hajj.
And do most people do a minor one, then the major one? Or do some people just go straight in for major?
Most people can't afford it, so they like save up.
Right.
Some people say
It's not expected to do both.
no, not all.
Right.
So some people, they'd save up their entire life just to be able to go on a major pilgrimage.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And and there's a lot of significant proportion of the world, Muslim world, that wouldn't be able to afford to do that.
Sure.
So obviously, us bougie wankers in the West,
Rocking it with your double pilgrimages.
Yeah, get with our red passports or blue passports now.
Oh yeah.
Burgundy passports as it was back then, back in day, and we went, and there was there's a couple of stories from both trips that were quite eventful. I start with the slightly. Yeah, I'll start with the Hajj, the major pilgrimage, because that was what a trip. Obviously, it was amazing spiritually. Got so much out of it, and did all the rites that I'm supposed to and stuff, and that was amazing. But like, if you might remember, if you Google the 2015 Hajj pilgrimage, it was very, very eventful.
It was a good year. It was a good year.
Well. Depends on your perspective.
It was an eventful year.
It was eventful. That's the right word. Eventful.
Let's steady on with a good year, shall we?
Good year in terms of numbers. We've got 3 million plus people there.
Wow.
It's not Butlins. And
attendance was high.
So before we went, so some people were already there. Some people got early, so some people were already there. So me and my mum and my sister hadn't gone yet. But it was maybe like a couple of days before we went. There was like ridiculously heavy rain. There's a massive storm in Mecca, and there's ridiculously heavy rainfall. Like the streets were flooded, and a crane. So they're doing some building work on the big mosque, and a crane fell, killing someone.
Goodness.
Before the pilgrimage had even started.
I'm taking back my good year comment.
Yeah. Eventful was the right word. So, that's a blessing in itself, because, as a believing Muslim, to die on those hallowed grounds would be like, it's a dream. Like, that's like kind of like you've achieved life. You've died in the place you want to be in. But, still very sad for the person's family. Just walking along. And also, how scary must that be? Just walking along, doing your pilgrimage stuff and praying and stuff. And suddenly a crane falls from outside the building onto the mosque. It was awful. So that happened before we got there.
I wonder, did that work need doing right then? Like, if this is an event with a set day in the calendar,
they didn't do the work when we were there. But obviously they left the equipment up. It's like if you got scaffolding up, you can't really just take it down for a day.
That makes sense.
Or even a week. It's just there in it. But they weren't doing the work during that week or so. But the stuff was still around. And as we know, the Middle East in general has quite a lax policy towards building health and safety anyway. As people who follow the Qatar World Cup will no doubt know. So that happened before we got there. On one of the final days of the actual pilgrimage bit. So you get there a bit earlier and you stay there a bit after, but the pilgrimage itself lasts about 5 days in the middle. So I think I was on the 4th day. There was a massive stampede which killed about 1,500 people because I don't know what they did. They got the logistics wrong or the signage wrong, and basically 2 groups of people ended up converging on each other.
Holy shit.
Traveling in slightly different directions. And because there's like, a throng of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, if you're at the front, it's difficult to say stop. Because you're a million people deep and they're not getting the message. And so they essentially got pushed into each other.
Yeah. So, excuse my ignorance, it's like a mass walk to Mecca.
Yeah. So you start off in Mecca for a few days, then you travel out
in Mecca.
Then you travel to out of town. You spend couple of days there, and then you walk back in. Right. But when you're on the outside, because there's so many people, it's all mazed off. Like there's all one-way systems and all that sort of stuff. Because
it's just like one big Alton Towers queue.
Essentially, it's massive.
I get that it's for like faith, but that's a lot, isn't it?
It requires a lot of patience.
Yes,
it's not.
That's testing.
Yeah, you go there and automatically you get this nirvana and like but no, it's what you put in, and it is hard work because you got to remember the weather's atrociously hot.
Oh, there's that too, yeah. Like, I've never been to Alton Towers in the height of summer for a reason.
Right. And there's people from all over the world. And let me tell you, I've never felt more British in my life than when I was on the Hajj. Because nowhere else in the world understands the concept of queuing. And I'm not a big queuer. It's one of the things that I dislike about this country. But when you go abroad, you're like, maybe we should queue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Form an orderly queue, people.
Maybe it's first come, first served.
Yeah.
Guys. So that happened, which is awful. And we were only 15 minutes ahead of it. And we didn't know about it because we kind of left the area 15 minutes ahead of it. And then we ended up walking back to Mecca. And then I left my phone behind in the hotel because I didn't want it with me. And then when I got back, obviously, switched my phone and I just had inundated with messages from people saying, "Oh, you're right. Are you okay? Oh my God, are you fine?" And that's how I heard what happened.
But you didn't have your phone on you. Everyone was worried sick as well, I guess.
Yeah. So that's when I heard about it. And then we switched
you were that close
to the local TV on and watched the news and stuff. And it's just horrible. And what's really sad about it is because you generally travel in groups from your own country. That's how they zone it off.
Right.
And so most of the victims were from it's like one, disproportionately affects a couple of countries because they happen to be in those places.
Okay.
So I think in that incident, I think it was Nigeria and Iran that were most affected, I think. And then a couple of other countries were also caught up in it. But they were the groups most affected by it. And obviously Iran and Saudi Arabia have tensions anyway, but that doesn't help. And so when we got to Medina, which is the other city where you go on during the pilgrimage, the Iranians were doing mass protests and stuff, which is quite exciting.
Oh my goodness!
But I kind of completely understood it because I'm like, it's very obviously completely negligent.
Yeah,
and it's not like an American or British court system where you're going to sue someone. It's just like, well, God's will, innit?
God's will, yeah.
Yeah, God's will, but you're also given free will and you've acted negligently. But then it gets worse. So we're a party that travelled from Blackburn. There's about 200 in our party, in our specific party that we'd gone with, like our quote-unquote tour guide, but not quite, but pilgrimage guide or whatever. So there's 200 in our party. So we've obviously arranged coaches to go from Mecca, Medina. It's about a 4-hour coach.
Just from Blackburn, 200 just from Blackburn.
They were from all over the country, but they were. But the tour operator was from Blackburn.
Oh, okay.
So the trip was from here, but the people that come from all over the UK.
The 200 of you were repping the UK, basically.
And more than that, there's different. There's probably in the UK. The UK probably sends about 10,000 people, I say, to pilgrimage.
So many.
Ish. I mean, don't quote me. That's a very unscientific number. I don't know where I've got that from, but I've literally plucked that out of thin air. It probably isn't that many, but yeah.
In my head, I've just got, like the opening ceremony of the Olympics where they're all walking around in their country.
Yeah.
That's just what I'm thinking of.
Because you know what? It's not unlike that. You get like the lovely people of Malaysia and Indonesia, and you're like, why can't we all just be like, look how nice they are. So obviously we organised coaches to go from Mecca to Medina, which was the second part of the trip, and then we stayed there for a week before we come home. And so they were like, what? Maybe I think we had I'm trying to think, 6 coaches, I think, for us ish, something like that. And one of the coaches, the driver fell asleep, and they had an accident.
What? Hang on, whilst he was driving?
Yes.
Right.
And he died.
Oh my God, I was going to say, before we laugh at this, was this bad?
No, he died.
I'm going to stop laughing about people dying. That's twice already today.
People got thrown all over this coach. Like people that I knew, me, my mum, and my sister weren't on that coach. Fortunately, we were on a different one. But again, we didn't find that out until we got to Medina.
You really had someone looking after you on this trip, didn't you? With all these things happening.
This is 2 near-death experiences you've had already.
Someone broke his leg and then had to be flown home. Someone I know that, every trip you go on, you make a new best friend. So my best friend on that trip, he was on that coach. He had a bruised face. His aunt was with him. She had a busted nose and stuff. You know, those injuries you get after a boxing fight.
Personally, no, but
she got one of them because obviously she went first face into the seat in front of her.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of it, just the sympathy with the bus driver, though, isn't it? Because we were all felt sorry for him because he's some young kid from, I think he's from one of the North African countries, like Egypt or something, Morocco, maybe one of them. And they work him to the bone. You know, they make him drive these ridiculously long hours.
Oh, really?
He's not on his pilgrimage, is he?
Yeah, he's not on his pilgrimage. He's working there and he's fallen asleep and cost him his life. Just really sad. And then on the last day, we had an old lady was with us that I remember growing up with. She lived in my first house when I was really little. She was our neighbour before they moved away down south.
Yeah.
And she just happened to be in the trip coincidentally.
Out of the thousands of people, and she just happened to be there.
You always meet someone you know on holiday.
It was nice for my mum to connect with her. She died on the last day of the trip.
And she died? Oh my life.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, she was an older woman, so, it was her, I guess, it was maybe slightly before her time, but, it wasn't, young enough to be tragic. You know what I mean? It was one of them.
Yeah.
She died, and it was like, can we just go home, please?
This doesn't feel like a very feel-good trip.
Hang on, I just remembered something. She was the second person that died in our group.
Oh my
because
life.
on the day of the stampede, one of our group, this kid, not a child, but like early 20s or whatever. He's probably about the same age as me, so I'll say kid now. But about the same age as me, similar age to me. He got separated from his family, and he was just wandering around, and he got heat stroke, and he just got really lost and panicked, and ended up heat stroke, and he
died. Right, I was just about to say these things come in threes, but now you've given us four.
So yeah, so that was the crane thing, the stampede, then the bus driver, our old neighbour, and the poor guy who got lost from his family. So 5 people.
5, yes. I mean,
no, 5 events, 5. But 5 events, on one trip.
That is wild.
I mean, statistically, if you have 3 million people in one place for 2 weeks, statistically, some will die because you've got a mix of age groups and health.
But for you to be near a lot of that,
I know, it was really
sobering.
Yeah, it was very sobering, and despite all of that, obviously, it was an amazing trip for the right reasons as well.
Have you seen the film's Final Destination?
Yes, I have.
Did you start to think this is a little bit like Death's Coming for You, and it's just getting closer and closer?
It was very sad. Like the kid who died, who got lost from his family, that was really sad.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he was in our group, and not that I didn't really know him, but he was around, and I said hi to him and stuff, and I think he had like 2 brothers with him on the trip, and his parents and stuff. That was really sad.
Oh man,
because that's the end of your trip, then, isn't it? Like that's. Because you got to deal with the paperwork and all the logistics about the funeral and stuff. It's just mad, like because people who die there, they bury them there, but they don't bring them back and stuff. So that's at least that's easy.
What if you don't complete the pilgrimage? Like what? Because obviously there's some of these things where some of them people they're gonna not feel too great about going back.
No, I think you're rewarded for your intention.
Okay.
So the intention is a big part of our religion. So if your intention was to do something and then for things that are outside of your control don't happen, then you'll get rewarded for the intention.
Okay, that seems fair.
That seems fair.
Well, no, because you can imagine these people that have either been part of or witnessed some of these events. It must make them feel like.
It'd be horrific.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I can't imagine how traumatizing the stampede thing must have been. Like that is just because it was. I mean, 1,500.
Yes, yeah.
People, and obviously, and then there would have been multiple people who were just injured. On top of that,
it's harrowing.
Yeah.
That I can't even begin to imagine what that would look like. Because people talk about like Hillsborough, which is obviously the disaster that we're familiar with, and 100 people died there, and it just sounded, people describe it and stuff, and it just sounds horrific. And I can't imagine something being 15 times bigger than that.
No, it'd be terrifying.
Yeah, it was what a trip.
I mean, Stamps, you sticking with eventful, yeah? Not?
Yeah.
Or was it? Did you say it was good or great or something? You said.
You said a good year, but it was an eventful year.
Yeah, it wasn't a good year, was it?
So let's stick with eventful.
2007 was good. That was the first time I went, and it was amazing. We all got so much out of it. One of my favorite memories is a prank that me and my cousin pulled in the hotel. So my cousin's like he's a year younger than me, so same age group together. And so we're in this hotel, and we found out that you can call using the hotel phone. You can just dial in a room number, and it rings that room.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. And so we found that out. And so my cousin's really good at accents, a lot better than me. So he rang a random new room number up and put on his best Arabic fake accent. And he said, I won't be able to do the accent, but he basically, so the person's picked you up, and he's going hello and stuff, and he's going, oh, we just so you're aware, we've actually delivered the wrong pillows to your room. And the guy's like, what are you on about? And he goes, yeah, sorry, so it's a mistake. I'm really, it's really unfortunate, but we've just given the wrong pillows to your room. So if you could just bring the pillows downstairs, we'll exchange them for you. And the guy wasn't having it initially. He's like, "Well, it doesn't make any sense." And he's like, "So I'm just really, if you could just do this, it's really embarrassing. It's embarrassing for us. It's embarrassing for you, bro.
Don't make it any worse."
Yeah, if you could just couldn't make it any worse, that'd be really appreciate that. And so the guy was like, well, a bit confused, but okay. And me and my cousin go downstairs, waiting for this guy. 10 minutes past, nothing happens. I'm just about giving up, and then the lift doors open, and this guy comes out of this lift with 6 pillows, and he walks across the lobby.
Oh my goodness!
And plops them on the desk, and they just stare at each other. The receptionist And the guys are staring at each other, like, there you go. And the receptionist, like, I don't know what you want. Like imagine the receptionist's point of view.
Yeah.
Like, some guys just come in and just prop some pillows on that's never happened. Just put some pillows on your front desk and he's gone, there you go.
I've been told these are wrong.
No, but puts them on the desk and then doesn't say anything. Because he's thinking she's expecting them.
Yeah. He's told me to come downstairs, and so I have. So he knows why I've brought these.
Yeah.
So no one. So words need to be exchanged. So he's like, there you go, and like, all right. It was just the funniest argument I've ever witnessed in my life.
About pillows.
What happened?
Nothing. The guy took his pillows back upstairs.
Did he not kick off? Like, why did you ring me?
Yeah, and then they were like, we haven't rang you. They were like, obviously, because they hadn't. So they were both being honest.
I'm putting myself in this position, right? First of all, if someone rang my room and was like, oh, you need to come down, I'd be like, fuck you, I'm on holiday. If you want these pillows and just want to swap them, come get them.
You come and get them.
I am not.
Yes, exactly. But you're a traveller. So I don't think this person was clearly not a traveller.
Yeah.
He wasn't used to staying in hotels, because that's what I'd have done. That was the one flaw in our plan. But luckily he didn't cotton on.
I'd be like, this is a joke. And I'd get down to reception and I'd be like, man, what is this? You asked me to bring these pillows down. I would have kicked off.
I don't think he was happy.
He's definitely not happy.
Yeah.
I think the saddest thing was, the worst thing, because we rang a random number. So this could have been any. The person might not have spoken English for we just got lucky. It turned out that this guy was in our group. And when we saw him later, he had 2 young kids, and I can't imagine what must have happened in that room. He must have had to wake up one of those children who was sleeping and gone, sorry, Daddy has to bring the right pillow.
Yeah, I'm going to need this pillow from under your head.
Give me your pillow.
And the kid's like, but Daddy, I want to sleep. No, the pillows are wrong.
The man has told me the pillows are wrong. Give me your pillow.
Me and my cousin, we talk about that quite often, how it is not often that a prank is so successful and also everyone is in harm.
Is your cousin a bit of a prankster? Like, when you pair, do you do as a prank?
Yeah, we both are.
I mean, hang on. Have you taken the opportunity to christen that trip Pillowgrimage?
Oh, wow.
Oh, my days.
Because
I
feel like it needs to be.
My days. I'm actually angry that I missed that.
Yeah. Don't you be getting off this podcast, ringing your cousin.
I'm actually vexed with you right now, mate. Stamps. I'm actually seething with you right now.
It's just there. It was just there. I'm sorry, Tez.
It was right there the whole time.
Sorry.
But me and my cousin, Shiraz, his name is, we were in Pakistan. Just a year later, 2008, we were in Pakistan, and a couple of my white friends were coming to visit us. So we've gone from our village. So we were already there. So we've gone from our village to Islamabad, which is about a 2.5 hour, 3 hour journey. We pick them up from the airport, and Pakistanis have this thing. It's a cultural thing, but they stare like this. They are starers.
Yeah.
So my cousin pretends to be a local, and it's my friend Catherine and her boyfriend Will, who I also know. So they're both my friends, but it's Catherine and Will. And I was picking up from the airport, and so we concoct this plan, and it's me, Shiraz, and my cousin Jaffa, who is Shiraz's younger brother, and so me and Jaffa welcome them, and my cousin doesn't say anything. And so we get all the luggage and stuff. And so we all started, we're in the back of the van on the way back to our village, and we're all chatting. And my cousin Shiraz is staring at Catherine, barely blinking.
Oh my
like just intense staring.
Oh my goodness.
And so me, Catherine and Will and Jaffa are having a conversation. And now and again I can just see Will glance over at my cousin. Just a little subtle like he's clocked what's happening.
Yeah.
But he's too polite he's English, you know, he's a southern English gentleman, he's too polite to say anything. But he's clocked what's happening, and I can see he's slightly uncomfortable, but not so uncomfortable to say something. But he's clocked it, and I've clocked him clocking it, so the plan's working perfectly. So at 10 minutes in, and we've let this prolong, and I have to give it to my cousin, he didn't break character. So this goes on for a bit, and then I realised Catherine noticed, and I said to Catherine, I'm like, oh, my cousin's staring, isn't he? And Catherine's like, oh yeah, he is a little bit. I went, oh, why don't you just break the ice with him? I'll teach you a phrase in Punjabi, ask him that, and that should break the ice. So Catherine's like, okay. She wants to play along. So I'm like, Catherine, just ask him like what his name is. So if you say, my name is Catherine, what's your name? And I taught her what that is. So it's like, Mera naam Catherine hai, aapka naam kya hai? That took about 5 minutes for her to learn.
But he's still just staring.
Yeah, still staring the whole time. I don't know what was going through his head. Because he didn't even laugh at any point. I just have to give it like 10 out of 10 acting.
Yeah, definitely.
And so eventually she gets it. And then, she plucks up the courage and turns to him and she's like, Mera naam Catherine hai. Aapka naam kya hai? And my cousin, without missing a beat, goes, oh, my name's Shiraz, love. How you doing? And it was so good.
My goodness.
They were just
absolutely.
Her
face must have dropped. She must have been so annoyed.
No, but Catherine is also the queen of pranks, so she
really?
She really enjoyed. She's like one of the funniest people that I know. So she enjoyed it a lot. She was like
genius.
Yeah, good. She was like, well done, very good.
So
very good.
I want to swing back to this staring thing. I just want to understand it a little bit more. Do they know that they're doing it? Is it like when I've got resting bitch face and I don't realise?
Yeah, I think it's that.
Oh, right, okay.
I think it's
fair
that.
enough.
Because they stare at us as well. Anyone who's like a bit different, and obviously if you're white, you're super different. So it's supercharged. But anyone who's a bit different just gets stared at. It happens like my little cousins or like the little members of the family or whatever, they just stare at me sometimes. And I'm like, what are you looking at? It's just a thing.
So like when you there is something going on that you want to kind of like, have a look at, maybe people watching, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
They're just doing what everyone else wished they had the bollocks to do, and that's just look right at the thing that's interesting, right?
Yeah.
But normally what happens is people aren't that
brazen,
good word, aren't that brazen, and kind of like keep flicking back and forward and pretend that they're looking at something else.
Brazen is the right word.
Yeah, and they just go, fuck it, that's what I want to look at.
I'm having a look. Can I have a look?
Yeah.
A propaganda.
Yeah, ganda.
The thing is, what are they going to do? Probably nothing.
I mean, nothing is the right thing, but it is weird though.
Oh, I totally agree. I'm not saying it should happen. I'm just saying when it does, is that if anyone you do get backlash, that's the thing. I don't think you're going to get backlash often, but when you do, it could be really bad. So it's really like a...
Yeah, but staring's one of those things where if someone's staring at you, you almost feel as though you're at fault. You don't really challenge people. You're like, you feel uncomfortable. You're like, why are they staring at me?
I actually would say something. I'd be like, you're right. What are you looking at?
Catherine and Will were like celebrities there. They were loving it.
Yeah.
Because, Pakistan didn't have a lot of tourism for a few years. And especially in the village, like some of those people had never seen white people in their life. And then some of the older people were excited because they hadn't seen white people since the olden days. So everyone was just excited.
Yeah.
I took Will to the mosque, and this old man accosted him. He was very sweet, and he knew a little bit of English, and he just kept going to him like, Englishman, best gentleman, Englishman. And Will was just nodding and going, yep, yes. It was very funny.
It's so crazy, that kind of thing, because a few people we've spoke to like have been in that situation where they've been in somewhere where the locals have never seen anybody like them before, so they just didn't know how to cope.
Yeah.
And
I can't think of anywhere in the UK where that would happen. I think that's such... we're so
it definitely
diverse.
does.
You need to come with me to the Cotswolds.
Yeah, it happens. And parts of like Wales and things like that where it's like proper little villagey where they don't normally get tourists.
Yeah, but surely it's not the same as like, I have never seen a white person before. I mean, that's just...
Oh, no. I think it's more of we know you're an outsider.
Yeah, it's like, what are your types doing here?
Yeah, this is a local place.
Yeah. Because I'm a stand-up, I gig all over the country, and I've had it before where it's that sort of like, you walk into a place and everyone, suddenly time stops and everyone's staring. Everyone stares you across the room, and you have to just pretend that they're not staring for an easier life. Yeah,
so that's your prank history, is it?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's the full history.
No, but that's some of the pranks. I'm not really... am I a prankster?
No.
I mean, when I was on Camp America, we locked our heads of houses in their huts and then threw away the keys into the lake.
What?
That's not a prank. That's imprisonment.
So Camp America, obviously we were in charge of the kids, and then we each kind of house, there were like 4 houses, like they were divided by age group, each one had a head, and they lived in the same cabin, which was divided by 4, so there were 4 doors on the outside and like partitions in between, and so we put a padlock on the side of each door, locking them in, and then we threw the keys into the lake for that. But that way there was zero culpability. Because there's zero evidence, then someone has to bottle it and come clean. But if you throw the keys away, there's no evidence.
Apart from when you go onto a podcast and say it,
tell everyone.
Well, they all know now. But the smart thing is, one of the guys in on the prank was dating one of the heads, so he went in and got himself locked in.
Genius.
To keep us abreast of the situation.
No culpability either.
To throw the scent of us.
Yeah,
it was very genius. It was very clever. It was a very clever idea.
Yeah.
So the keys are in the lake. Then what?
Yeah. Everybody died.
Well, there's to a point. There's handymen around, aren't there?
How are they informed? Because surely you're the only people at the moment that know these kids are locked in.
No, not the kids.
Just locked all the kids away.
Sorry.
No, we didn't lock the kids in. You know what?
It's not an animal.
You have to do to get fucked in America. No, the heads of each house.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Basically, our supervisors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The fact you just think he's some like kid torturer.
I wouldn't blame anybody for locking the kids in, because Camp America is long. It's weeks. You would get sick of them.
So how it works is you have kids for 2 weeks and they go, and then another group of kids come.
Still a long time.
It is.
But it's not your kids as well.
The bits in between are really fun because you get to go to the city and stuff. But they did end up finding out it was us. And we get into a little bit of trouble for it. So I'll tell you what happened on that trip. I'll tell you how popular I was. There was one point, because I used to really struggle to get up in the mornings, and I missed one morning too many. And I was told by the head of the camp that I basically got fired. Oh. But the entire, like, all the supervisors were there, and the Scottish woman who was like the head of like the swimming bit, whatever, the swimming stuff. She basically goes, she basically called a bluff, and she went, "Sandy, the thing you don't realize is if you sack Tez, 7 people are prepared to walk out," which I don't think was true. It was an incredible thing to hear, because this isn't something that she told me. So I believed it. I took that at face value, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm that popular." She was like, "Yeah, 7 people are prepared to walk out, and so you won't have half your stuff left."
Oh my goodness!
But they sacked you anyway.
No. Then they kept me on. They just moved me.
Oh, I was going to thought you were going to say they sacked me and nobody else left.
Look, I didn't. It wasn't like gross. I hadn't done something so bad. Like I was being a bit shit and lazy. So I didn't like do anything so bad like that would warrant like that. That's no one could be like, well, fair enough, you can't defend that. It was just a bit of incompetence in it. So yeah, she was like, "No, we're not letting you go," because I was very popular in that camp.
So despite the pranks on your off-peak pilgrimage to Mecca, did you complete your pilgrimage? Did you complete? Yeah, absolutely. And they were both amazing. And Mecca, like, you know, if you're a believing Muslim, and once you set your sights on the Kaaba, which is the black cube, it is surreal. It's indescribable, the feeling inside. It's absolutely amazing, because, you know, we pray 5 times a day, and we pray in the direction of the Kaaba, Mecca.
the black cube. Yeah. And so you picture that in your head while you're praying, and then to see it up front in person is indescribable. Like, it's just incredible. Do you get many non-Muslims go to Mecca? No, you're not. You're not allowed. I mean, as I was saying, like,
so unpack your suitcase, stamps. You ain't going.
Remember what happened at the last trip? It's not a holiday. No. Like, the last thing you need amongst a stampede is some German going, "Oh, tourists. Good. Oh, very good.
That's a very good point.
Putting a towel down at the front.
Just Hans Gruber in shorts going, "Oh, just very good." No, don't, mate, move.
Because this is Mecca.
There's already too many people that should be there anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're probably over capacity as it is. The last thing we need is some.
And the other thing as well,
it's pointing at stuff.
It's like, it's a really, I don't know if spiritual is meant to be the right word, but it's like, it's a really big thing. Like, I don't think it should be just trivialized by
that's
tourists.
That's what I was thinking.
Because then it becomes this like, oh, how interesting! Like, do you know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, then you get the selfies in front of the thing, and it
will come like the new Machu Picchu, won't it?
You know what people are. The closest
thing I was thinking is similar is like Vatican City.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Yeah.
the Catholic equivalent. And can't anyone just rock up there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't keep
I
that just
think
for
they
the
can.
Catholics,
I
do
think
they?
they
So it's
can.
kind of nice that you've got that.
I think they can.
This is just for us.
But
Okay.
yeah, so ours, no non-Muslim is allowed to step foot in the area.
Yeah.
So obviously you can go to Saudi,
Because
but you can't go to. I think there's a certain radius around the two mosques in Mecca, Medina, that you're not allowed.
yeah, that makes it really
venture.
special.
Question. Very silly, naive question.
Sure.
You say no non-Muslim is allowed. How do they know?
How would you actually know?
Yeah.
I guess first of all, like, why would you go if you're not?
That's
but
true.
say you did. Most of the time, like if you're in a Western country, it's in the paperwork.
Ah, okay.
And so you like, I reckon if someone converted to Islam but kept their Western name, they'd probably be invited to an interview.
Yeah. So there are some checks
I
done,
imagine,
some actual checks done.
with the embassy or whatever, and just to make sure. But that is a country that you don't want to break laws
Yeah,
in.
this is very true.
Oh, so it's actually against the law. Hang on. So it's against the law as a non-Muslim. Oh, I did not realise.
Spiritual law
I didn't realise.
And law.
I did not realise that. Yeah. But no, even when you were just telling it then, I thought it was just something, it was like a respect thing that no non-Muslim can go. And you wouldn't be allowed in, even on them grounds. But I didn't realise it was a legal
I mean,
thing.
if you were like Muslim passing, say you were Christian from Pakistan, who and most Christians in Pakistan, have local names, not Western names, and you falsified a little bit of paperwork, and you turned up, that was, what they can do. What can they do about that, really? But I don't know that that's happened,
and we wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
No,
This is not. I'm not trying to like break into Mecca. It's not. I'm not looking for tips here. I'm genuinely just in. This is all stuff that I never realised, and I'm just interested. So
yeah.
But yeah, so 2 eventful trips there. So just going somewhere slightly different then. Going to take a little turn to Amsterdam.
Slightly different.
Oh
Yeah.
Dear. Amsterdam.
We always end up back
2008
in
Amsterdam.
2008 Amsterdam.
Oh, Tez, I was living in Amsterdam in 2008.
Shut up, Stubbs. Come on, you've got to come out with us.
What could it be?
I don't think you'd have wanted to go out with Tez.
Such a fun evening. Right, so we've had a great weekend. Wicked weekend. That's for you, Stamps. We had a wicked time.
Yeah, awesome.
And it's the last night. We've got a flight leaving Amsterdam at like 9 a.m. ish.
Yeah.
So no one's sleeping. We're gonna sleep for an hour on the train on the plane or whatever.
Who's on this trip, Tez?
It's my stag do.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
So it's just before I'm now divorced, but it's my stag do 2008.
Okay.
So my best friend and a few other friends, and Dennis was there. Paul was there.
Dennis. Dennis. What a name.
Abs was there.
Abs. I can't imagine a group of friends where you've got Dennis and Abs.
Yeah, apart from Abs, has any of your friends got nicknames?
Well, Dennis hasn't. We just call him Dennis. Abs. I mean, Abs is called Abdullah, so that is his nickname.
Right.
And then Paul was there. That's his full surname, P.O. Paul, like the panda. It's called Francisco Paul. That's his. What a great name.
Like the Teletubby.
Yeah. Like him from the panda from Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a few of them on the trip. It's very, very fun. We had a great weekend. And then on the last night, so it's like 3 a.m. We're in Burger King. We've met a guy who looks like McLovin. That was great fun. We had a good laugh with him. And then the Burger King guys, they're shutting up and they throw us out. And they're like, okay, guys, time to leave or whatever. And so I'm one of the last people to leave the place. And Paul is just behind me. And he whispers, and I'm living with Paul at this moment in time. I'm living with Francisco Paul in Liverpool. We're living together.
Okay.
And so he's at that moment, he's the closest person to me in the world because I'm living with him. And so he whispers in my ear, take the key. Because they've put the key in the lock to lock up. And and so Francisco's like, oh, take the key. And so it's
like the little devil on your shoulder.
So I take the key.
I
take the key. And then we walk down the road and I'm swinging the key over my head on the lanyard, shouting, I am the Burger King. And then we stopped like halfway through and everyone's like just discussing that, got this key and stuff. So we're kind of in a circle discussing our next steps. And I'm kind of facing back towards the Burger King, and I see one of the workers come out and look left and right, and then spot us and start like jogging towards us. And now in my stoned adult brain, obviously the right thing to do now is to give him the key and be like, I'm sorry, mate, it's a harmless prank. I was gonna come and give it back anyway. Which I wasn't.
No, you had the keys to the Burger Kingdom. You were like gone.
It was a souvenir. But you know, that I could have done that. I didn't do that. What I did was turn around and run.
Oh,
Classic.
And none of my friends knew why I was running.
Oh, they hadn't spotted the guy.
Yeah, no. So I just turned around and started running.
Just you.
And then obviously that guy must have run past them, and then they started running. So it's like a proper Benny Hill thing going on.
Oh my goodness.
So he's chasing you. They're chasing him.
Yeah.
Please tell me you're still swinging the key, shouting, "I'm the Burger King," as you're going.
No, I'm running because I'm stoned. I'm slightly paranoid, so I'm running for my life. Because in my head, this person will kill me when he catches me. So I'm running for my life.
God.
This guy's running after me, trying to save his livelihood. So he's like, his life depends on this. And he was like an Asian guy as well. So I'm like, oh my God, you're gonna get sacked for this. And then I don't know your circumstances. I felt really bad afterwards. This is all afterwards. At the time, I just like
Run away, run
away from the Terminator.
Terminator.
So I'm running. And then, you know, I'm in Amsterdam. I'm not in a city that I know. I'm a few left and rights. And suddenly I'm running alongside a canal.
Oh God.
So I throw the key to the side, not in the canal, but to the side, thinking that, okay, he'll spot the key and stop chasing me.
It's like a dog.
He doesn't spot the key. He keeps chasing me. And now I'm like, now I've got no key to give him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm just going to have to fight him.
Oh, for goodness sake.
This is only going to end one way.
So in my head, I'm like, right, sacking yourself up, right? You got to stop and then you got to fight now. That's it. But like, if you're losing, your mates are probably only like 30 seconds behind, so you should be all right. So I stopped, but just luckily, at the same time, he must have also got tired and stopped at the same time. So he must have been like
tired.
We're like half a block away from each other. And so like, he gives me a few swears. I duck around the corner and hide behind a car. And I stay there for about 5 minutes, but he doesn't come. And then eventually get up and go back. And I somehow remember our way back to our apartment. And I get in there. And then about half an hour later, there's a knock on the doorbell rings. And they've got one of them like camera things where you can like...
Oh, ring.
Yeah, and you can talk downstairs or whatever.
Yeah.
So they have one of them, like an intercom thing. So I press the intercom. I'm like, oh, who is it? And Abs, my best friend, is like, oh, bro, it's us, but the police are here. And I'm like, oh shit, because I've just started my job at the Home Office. Like, it's a proper graduate job. You know, it's a proper. I'm like, if I get arrested by the Dutch police, like
that's it.
Your brain starts working overtime. You're like, right, I've left my job. I've got to quit London. I've got to go back
I'll have to be a comedian.
Oh, no.
But this was way before that. It was start of my career.
Proper job.
Yeah. So I was like shitting it and tentatively walking down the stairs, going toward the door, thinking, what am I going to say to the police? Blah, what am I going to say? What am I going to deny? Blah, blah, blah. And I could just hear them sniggering outside the door. And I was like, you fucking bastards. And I opened the door and there was no police. Just my friends having a little laugh.
Oh my goodness. Sounds like they are king of the pranks.
But yeah, I felt bad for that guy. I hope he found the key.
You don't know he got the key back?
No.
He's been fired now.
So bad. I feel really bad about that.
If you're listening, Tez is very sorry.
Had he locked it and the key was just still there? He hadn't locked the thing?
No, because the door was open while we were filing out.
Oh, so it's not like he couldn't get back in. It was more of a case he just couldn't lock up.
You can't lock up.
Yeah, that's not so bad, is it?
I don't know. That Burger King got robbed that night. He got fired.
I mean, while he's just chasing me, there must have been someone else in there because obviously in Burger King, not only one person working, but yeah, it was on him though. He was the person handling the keys.
Yeah, I think you were well within your rights to leg it.
Yeah, I was. No, I mean, I should have just given him his keys back.
Yeah, I'm not sure well within his rights is the right word now. I'm not sure there's any rights in running off with somebody's key to the restaurant.
I don't think there are.
I'm surprised you were just planning to keep it as a souvenir. I thought you were planning to like go back in and like have a bit of a cook up.
No, because we were leaving in like a couple of hours. We had to go home and pack and just a little souvenir in it.
So how was the rest of your trip round Amsterdam? How many days did you go there for?
I think we were there for 2 nights. It was really fun. I really liked it.
Yeah.
It's the first time I'd been.
Okay.
Because the only thing I'd heard about Amsterdam was like, you know, people at that age as well, people banging out about the red light district.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't really bother with any of that stuff. Like, it was just beautiful. Like, I was surprised how nice it was. Just lovely. It was so pretty.
Yes, it is.
I don't know why I wasn't expecting that. It was just really nice.
I think it's one of my favourite places in the world. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
What are the restaurants like in Amsterdam? Just out of curiosity.
Really good. I mean, there's more than just Burger King.
What food is there?
There's Hagenschlag.
There's what?
Hagenschlag is like bread that they put sweets on.
They put like hundreds and thousands on it.
Yeah, on your bread.
You have bread with butter on it, and then they put hundreds and thousands on it. Whenever anyone has a baby, you either have blue or pink hundreds and thousands on your bread.
And it's called Hagenschlag.
So they were doing like gender reveals before it was even cool?
Yeah. But a lot of like traditional Dutch food is like a lot of stews, like sausages,
it's trash. But there's a lot of people there from all over the world, so they've got some nice restaurants.
But they have really good restaurants,
Yeah.
I never really considered what food it would be over there, to be honest.
Yeah, Dutch food's quite like homely, like wintry cooking, really.
I mean, generally, native Northern European food is trash. Like in the league table of world foods, Northern European food is at the bottom.
It was going to be like a bit bland.
Yeah. No colour, no flavour particularly.
That's what German food is like.
Yeah, so I would say it's very similar to German. But the good thing is about Amsterdam is it's got a huge cultural heritage and history with Indonesia.
Really?
So it has amazing like Indonesian restaurants. Yeah.
That empire, the colonization and everywhere.
And there's Chinatown there. There's really good like Asian and Indonesian food.
Interesting. So, Tez, where are you planning on going next?
I mean, there's so many things on my list of things to do, but I don't know. I want to see the 7 wonders of the world.
I mean, that is a big statement. I want to see the 7 wonders of the world.
Yeah, like we're not going small here, are we? It's like big or go home.
When I say, I don't even know them all. Like, I want to see.
You just know there's 7, so
I'll tell you what I want to see with my own eyes.
Hang on, can we name them between us?
The thing is, when you Google it, it's constantly changing. So in my head, right, I want to see the pyramids, right? I want to see the Egyptian pyramids.
Yes, 1.
I want to see the Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
If India will let me in.
Yeah.
I want to see the Great Wall of China. I want to see the Machu Picchu Inca Trail, whatever, all that.
The whole Peru experience.
All of that stuff, mate.
Yeah.
I want to see that. I want to see, is it Petra?
Yeah. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's 5.
5 so far, yeah. Oh no, you got 6 because you got the pyramids as well. Pyramids,
Great Wall of China, Machu Picchu, Inca, all of that stuff. Petra. What was the 5th one I said? Taj Mahal. You said.
Oh yeah.
I've got them here.
I've seen Stonehenge. Take that off.
That's not one of them.
No.
Is that not? How is that not one of them, mate?
It's not.
Nor are the pyramids, apparently.
Oh, Christ the Redeemer.
This is what I'm saying. The 7 wonders of the world. They're just random stuff, and it's always changing.
Colosseum.
You've got the Taj Mahal, Petra, Machu Picchu, the Great Wall of China, the Colosseum in Italy, Christ the Redeemer in Brazil, and Chichen Itza.
Okay, so if I go on Wikipedia now, it says 7 wonders of the Asian world: Great Pyramid of Giza, Egypt, that's pyramids; the Colossus of Rhodes, Hanging Gardens of Babylon, which apparently don't exist anymore.
No.
The Lighthouse of Alexandria, the Mausoleum at some place that I can't pronounce in modern day Turkey, Statue of Zeus at Olympia.
Oh yeah, that's on here.
And the Temple of Artemis. Mate, I'm just saying.
You just want to go and see some good shit.
I want to go see the Great Pyramids of Giza, innit? All right, so there's like, if you take different lists, there's about 30 things. I can probably put 7 things together.
That's it.
So, list from other eras: the catacombs are in Alexandria, Egypt, the Colosseum in Rome, Great Wall of China, Hagia Sophia, I've seen that, Leaning Tower of Pisa,
yeah.
Porcelain Tower of Nanjing,
right?
Stonehenge, seen that.
Can we just swing back to the catacombs? Obviously, Paris have catacombs as well. They look terrifying. Are you saying you would actually go into the catacombs, Tez?
100%.
Oh my goodness me!
You know why?
Please inform me, because I can't think.
Because I'm not a pussy, mate.
Right, no way, not a chance, right? As Stance is finding out as we're doing more and more of these episodes, some of the stuff that really should scare me doesn't, and I'm a pretty logical person, but I am not going to be going underground, under the city, and into a maze of pitch black full of basically skeletons, where essentially you can very easily take the wrong turn and get lost and basically down there forever. I've seen the film As Above, So Below, and it has scared the life out of me. I shall never be going into the catacombs.
Tom Hanks did it.
Yeah, mate. Tom Hanks did it, mate. Think about that,
Yeah.
mate.
I don't care what Tom Hanks has done. I don't care. He also got himself Castaway. I'm not.
Wow, that's true. And he
Do
made
you know what I
friends with
mean?
volleyball.
No, thank you.
Think about your life choices, mate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So new 7 wonders of the world. This sounds like the list I think that I'm going off.
Okay.
Right.
These are the ones.
Great Wall of China.
Yes.
Yeah.
Petra
Yes.
in Jordan. Christ the Redeemer.
Do you know Petra? You can stay in like little caves opposite Petra.
Oh, that sounds fit, mate.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Christ the Redeemer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brazil. Nice.
Machu Picchu.
Yes.
Chichen Itza
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
in Mexico. The Colosseum, Rome. Taj Mahal,
Yeah.
India. And then the Great Pyramid of Giza is like an honorary 8th one.
There you
So
go.
that sounds like kind of the list that I was
That's a
talking
good
about.
list.
Okay. New question. What are you going to tackle first?
Yeah.
I reckon I could go do Petra
Okay.
in Jordan and then maybe go see the pyramids of Giza.
In one trip.
I reckon.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're pretty close, aren't they?
Cool. Fair enough. Sounds good.
Yeah, decent.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, Tez. It's the most ambitious answer we've had to that question so far.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah. Yeah.
But there's a lot of other things I want to go see the Northern Lights at some point. I want to do an African safari.
Oh, I'd love to do an African.
I would love to do
safari.
like Lord of the Rings tour in New Zealand.
Oh, yes. See, that's on
Oh,
my
my
list.
God.
I would
yeah,
love
the
to do like
Shires.
a road trip across America. Like
Yeah.
a lot of things I
Yeah.
want to do.
Where in America?
Like I'd go to New York, then travel to
Mhm.
Chicago, and then go down Route 66.
Yeah.
Stopping at a couple of places, go down to Cali, drive up to San Fran, and then fly back to Toronto. Fly to Toronto, and then come home in it.
That is a big ash trip.
Or maybe the other way. Actually, maybe the other way. Go to Toronto, fly to San Fran, drive down to LA,
Mm.
drive up to Las Vegas,
Mhm.
then jump on Route 66 up to Chicago, and then do Chicago for a couple of days, and then go to New York, and then come home.
That sounds amazing.
I would suggest the latter option's probably better, mainly because obviously your flight there is going to be longer if you. So like, it's not so bad going, but if you think you've done all that whole trip and you just want to get home, it's going to be way better to just fly back straight from New York. It'll only be 6 hours.
Yeah.
And then you're home.
Does it really only take 6 hours to fly to New York?
Fly from New York to England.
Yeah, and vice versa, I assume.
No,
Why
Why?
is it not 6 hours going there?
it's longer to get there because the world is turning.
Because of wind, mate.
How much longer?
See, none of just a pretty face here, guys.
10 minutes.
I think it's only like an hour and a half, something like that. It can make a big difference.
Yeah.
An hour and a half is a lot. That's like 20%.
Yeah, it can make a big
It's like
difference.
10%.
I mean,
That's
6
a lot.
hours is like the lowest.
With a good wind behind you.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't want to there's 7 wonders of the solar system as well.
Good God.
One of the moons of Saturn's on there.
Yeah.
The Great Red Spot of Jupiter.
Been there.
The asteroid belt.
So you're going to go visit all these too?
The
Because
surface of the sun is on there.
the surface of the sun.
It says, mate, that's what it's saying, mate.
Oh, I love this.
Not even one spot, just any of it. Just touch any of it, and you're like, and you come back and you're like, oh, but you didn't go to you went already to the sun and you didn't visit that place. Oh, mate, what a wasted trip.
Tez, don't let anybody try and dim your ambition.
If you think you can do it, you can do it.
Thanks, mate.
That's not true. Don't listen to Stance. Just because you think you can touch the surface of the sun doesn't mean that you should or that you can.
Is that a disclaimer?
Yeah.
Right.
Just, for anybody. Christ.
Who can get to the sun? Like Icarus.
There's a mountain on Mars that has the diameter of 80% of France.
Wow.
The Olympus Mons, it's called. It's about 2.5 times Mount Everest's height above sea level.
Oh
So,
my goodness me.
Gonna have to jog up that quite slowly, I reckon. Oh, it's 22 kilometers. That's less than half a marathon. Light work.
Oh,
That'll
easy.
be fine.
Yeah.
And isn't there less gravity as well? So even easier.
Oh, you just jump.
Even
One jump, innit?
easier. I mean, I don't know that. I have no idea.
Superman up there, innit?
Yeah, superhero jump.
Well, honestly, Tez, your plans for the future are
No one's stopping them.
more than I could have imagined,
Yeah.
to be honest. And I wish you all the best of luck with everything.
Thank you.
All the places
Thank
that
you.
you dream of going to, I'm sure that you will do everything you can to try and make that happen.
Thank you very much.
Send us a postcard from Mars.
Yeah, some pictures also would be marvellous.
Yes.
So, Stamps, did you feel that you were educated in that episode? I feel like I learnt a lot. Certainly, things that I didn't know.
I definitely learned a lot. I didn't realise that space travel was as easy as Tez seems to think it is.
Yeah, I wasn't even talking about that, to be fair. I was talking about, his trip to Mecca. But certainly, yeah, I did not realise going to the sun was an option.
But I did learn a lot about Mecca. Genuinely did. That was it was very interesting.
I didn't realise how dangerous it was.
No, I didn't expect 5 people to die on that trip, or I wouldn't have said, was it a good year at the start of it?
Crazy, right? It's not like it was just like a bad year. It sounds like people just do die on that trip because the sheer number of people that go and things like that.
Just for the sheer amount of people, it sounds terrifying. Obviously, it's an amazing experience, if you're religious.
Yeah, indeed.
And not once, twice in a lifetime for Tez. And then a good old favourite, Amsterdam.
Yeah, our guests do love Amsterdam. But do you know what the thing is? They definitely have all got their individual experience.
That's it. Everyone's got their own Amsterdam.
Yeah, so super interesting.
Good episode.
It was indeed. I feel, though, Tez's where next answer, I think we're going to have to try see if someone can beat it.
The bar has been set.
It has.
I think we need to discount going to Mars.
Maybe, and the sun. Yeah, maybe.
But the actual places that it's physically possible for him to visit, the bar has still been set very high.
To go check Tez out on his Instagram, he's just Tez Ilyas on Instagram and Twitter, all of the socials. Always got great content on there. He's also got a book, The Secret Diary of a British Muslim.
Of a what?
He's got a book that's out. The secret, because this is going to be the soapbox race again.
This is a tongue twister.
He's also got a book that's out, The Secret Diary of a British... Oh, for fuck's sake. God damn it. Right, we're going to do this. We're going to do it. He's also got a book out, The Secret Diary of a British Muslim, aged 13 3/4. Boom, smashed it. So go check that out. He's also touring as well, all around the country.
The Wicked Tour.
Indeed. Get yourselves booked on it. Go see him. Have a laugh. And as always, if you enjoyed this episode, like and share our posts. Always helps us beat the Instagram algorithm.
Same time next week.
Find us on Instagram, Misadventures in Travel. Follow us, like our posts, support us, and if you've got any stories, any misadventures of your own, DM us, let us know, and we could share them on the podcast.